Good morning, grade 8. Today we are going to start lesson 2 about electric current. We mentioned in lesson 1 static electricity. What's meant by static electricity? Static electricity builds up charges on an object. Yes, but these charges do not flow continuously. Static electricity building up charges on an object, but they do not flow continuously. And we mentioned that the charges or these charges can redistribute themselves to build up static electricity by 4 methods: by friction, when rub two objects together like your hands, and by conduction, and by induction, and finally by polarization. Yes, finally by polarization. Okay, in this lesson we'll speak about flowing of electric charges. Flowing, not building up on an object without flowing like static, but electric current means electric charges flow through a material. Yes, through a material. So electric current is a continuous flow of electric charges through a material. Look at the electric circuit, look at dry cell, source of electric current, and the connecting wire, this conductor, to allow electric charges flow through, and the filament or lamp that indicate if the current flow or not. Yes? We have a rate of electric current. What's meant by the rate of electric current? Rate means the time. Time, like power. When we spoke about power, we mentioned power is the work divided time. Yes? Also, rate of electric current, the amount of electric charges that passes through a wire in a given period of time. This is the rate, yes, amount of a charge in a given period of time. We need unit to measure electric current, ampere, yes, the abbreviation of ampere, AMB or capital A. Ampere, what's meant by ampere? The unit for the rate of electric current. Okay, so we measure electric current by ampere. What about electric circuit? But through it electric charges can flow. So this is bad. But add word unbroken path. So complete unbroken path or continuous unbroken path or continuous that the charges can flow through. So what's meant by electric circuit? Complete unbroken path that charges can flow through. Okay, all electric devices in your home, all electric devices from toaster until the television, fridge, all equipments contain electric circuit. So any device operated by electricity, yes, contains electric circuit. This is the simple diagram for electric circuit. Battery, positive and negative poles, and switch to control flowing of electric current. I can switch on or switch off, and lamp indicate the current flow only. Yes, this is the simple diagram for electric circuit. How could conductors differ from insulators? How could conductors differ from insulators? They differ where the charges can flow more easily through some materials than others. Okay, they differ where charges can flow more easily. This is conductor. Cannot flow easily. Cannot. This is insulator. So they differ where charges can flow more easily through some materials than others. How strongly our electrons are attached to atoms? This is indicate insulator. Yes. How strongly electrons are attached to atoms, this is indicate insulator. So, what's meant by conductor? Material through which charges, electrons can flow easily. So, electrons loosely or cannot hold to the atom, this is conductors. Electrons allowing conductor to be charged by induction. Electrons اللي هي that flow through conductor allow conductors to be charged by induction. Okay, the atoms in conductors have loosely bound electrons. That can move freely. So, for this reason, conductors allow electric current flow through. because the electrons of it have loosely bound, yes, to the atoms. Have loosely bound, yes. Good example for conductors, metals, and the good example for metal, copper. Copper is a good conductor for electricity. Look at copper in cables, yes, and copper conductor surrounded by plastic insulator or rubber insulator, yes. Look at the meaning of insulator. Material also do not allow charges to flow. Why? Because electrons cannot move freely. Electrons move around within their own atoms only, without moving or without freely movement, allowing for polarization. Electrons move around within their own atoms, allowing for polarization, not conduction. Because we spoke about polarization in case of a redistribution of electric charges in static electricity, polarization between non-metals. Yeah, non-metals, non-metals. But when we spoke about conduction, we spoke about metals. Yes, so rubber and plastic are good insulators. Yes. What affects current flow? What affects current flow? Firstly, we make comparison between current flow in a wire and between water flowing in a pipe. Yes, current flow is affected by the energy of the charges, because the charges flow through a wire have energy. So the energy is very important to measure the current flow, and also the properties of the objects that the charges flow. Okay, the charge flow through the wire. So I need to know the properties of the wire. If the wire wide, if the wire thin, if the wire long, if the wire good conductor or insulator, of the wire the material of it good conductor, of the wire hot or cold. Yes. So the current flow affected by the energy of charges and the properties of the object that the charges flow through. Number one, electric current flow through wire like water through pipes. Yes, look at the two diagrams. Make comparison between the electric circuit for current and the circuit for water. Yes, look at water comes from pipes, and pipes in this reservoir or pump. Yes, so we have pump, a reservoir. This is exactly like dry cell or the power plant station. Yes. So charges flow because of differences in electric potential energy. We have difference from this point until this point. Yes, exactly as we mentioned, the water flow from potential energy to kinetic energy, from area to area. Yes, so we have difference in electrical potential energy also. Yes, this difference in electric potential energy allow current flow, allow electric charges or current flow. So potential energy from an energy source like battery gets converted into a form of energy like light and heat, as we told you before, the energy transformation, change from one form to another. Yes? Yes, also potential energy from an energy source can change it into light energy, can change it into heat energy, can change it into sound energy, and so on. Okay, look at the comparison. Water flowing in a pipe is similar to electric current flowing in a circuit. The battery is like the pump. The electric charge is like the water. The connecting wire, look at the connecting wire, exactly like these pipes. Yes? The filament that indicate if current flow or no, exactly like the nozzle of the pipe, and also the switch that control flowing of current, also like the valve that control flowing of water. Okay, now as I told you, the difference in electric potential energy, this is allow electric current to flow. So what's meant by different electric potential? This is voltage, and the symbol for voltage V. Voltage is the difference in electric potential energy between point and point in the circuit or in the wire. Yes, is the difference in electric potential energy, very charged, between 2 points in the circuit. This is called electrical potential or electric potential, and the symbol for it V. Electrical potential means voltage, and the symbol V. The unit that measures the electrical potential, volt, like the unit of that measure electric current, ampere. Also volt measures the voltage, yes, or electric potential. Look at this battery energizer. We have 6V. This means 6 voltage. Yes. Other battery 9V, 9 voltage. Other battery 1.5V, 1.5 voltage, and so on. Yes. According to the amount of charges inside it. Look at the comparison between this diagram of water. This is explain the difference in electrical potential energy exactly in electricity as in water. Look at the difference between this point and this point. This is the difference allow water to flow. Yes, this is the difference because in this part the maximum potential energy. This maximum potential energy completely changes into kinetic energy. By this energy, the water can flow in opposite direction because it carries energy from the water that carried from potential energy. Also, the difference in electrical potential energy allow electric current to flow. Yes? But what happens during flowing of electric current? We have resistance. Resist this motion or resist this movement of charges. Yes? This resistance measure of how difficult it for charges to flow through an object. Yes? Resistance is the measure of how difficult it is for charges to flow through an object. The greater resistance, less current. Sure, greater resistance, less current there is for a given voltage. We have unit for resistance, yes, ohm. Ohm is the unit for measuring resistance. So we have 3 units, ampere for electric current, volt for voltage or electric potential, and ohm for resistance. So we have 4 factors determine resistance of object. Yes? This affect the flow of electric current. Number 1, diameter. We mentioned we have connecting wire allow out through it the electric current can flow. What about the diameter of this connecting wire? What about the diameter? Look at, we have diameter like this wide wire or thick wire, yes, in a circuit, yes, and we have also sometimes thin wires. Oh, look at that, the cross-sectional area or the wideness or the thickness of the wire. Current flows more easily through a wide. Current flows more easily through a wide wire than through a narrow one. Why? Because allow more electric charges pass easily. So the resistance decrease as the wire gets more wide. Yes. So the larger the cross-sectional area, the lower the resistance. The larger the cross-sectional area, or the larger of the wide wire, the resistance will be lower. Yes, since the electrons have larger area to flow through. Yes, yes. Look at this diagram. This tells me about wide wire or a wide cross-section. Yes, then this thin one. Yes, the thicker the wire, less resistance. The thicker the wire, less resistance. So we use thick wire. Look at this thick wire. This is allow electric current to flow easily, and this is lower the resistance or reduce the resistance. Okay, shabab? Okay. Move to other factors that determine the flow of electric charges or determine the resistance. Length. Short wire have less resistance, and the long wire have what? Long wires have large resistance. Yes? Short wire have less resistance than long wires. Resistance increases with length because electrons have farther to go. Electrons have farther to go. So, short wire have less resistance than long wire. Last one, material. As I told you before, conductors and insulators. Conductors allow electron flow easily. Why? Because electrons are are loosely held to their atoms than insulators. In insulators, the charges are tightly held to their atoms. So conductors have very low resistance. And inside conductors, we have different metals, like copper, like iron, like aluminium. Yes, look, iron has more electrical resistance, so never use iron inside electric cables. Has more resistance than copper. Copper is the best one, better than aluminium. Also copper better than aluminium. Yes, so the conductors materials have low resistance than insulator, and the inside conductors also we have different material. Copper is the best one for using electrical currents because it has lower resistance than iron and aluminum. Okay, what about temperature? The fourth factor that determines the resistance. طبعا sure, as the temperature increase, the resistance increase. This is directly proportional. As the electrical resistance of most material increases, the temperature increases, and the temperature of the most material decreases, the resistance also decreases. So we have finished this part of electric current, and we finished the whole lesson about electric current. So easy. Look at the examples of electric current about this part. Look at page 170. Tells you about water current and electric current with comparison and the meaning of voltage. And look at page 171. We have examples, and we have diagrams that tells you the flowing of electric current. Yes, and next, inshallah, we will make the exercises in page 172 and page 173 next session. Thank you all of you.